camera. But anyway, it's me again. Thanks for being here. I am in my kitchen, of course, because I am hungry. I was actually reviewing a couple of books earlier. So anyway, I wanted to talk about denial and what it offers, and that it's a quick fix and it eventually has its own reckoning. When we deny things, when we deny what goes on with us, what we see, what we hear, what we know, and we deny it, it appears to be easier to deal with, But it makes it easier for the moment not to be honest with ourselves. So what does it do? What's the big deal about denial? Why can't we deny stuff? Why can't we keep going? Well, people who employ denial because it makes their lives easier in the moment, it makes their lives appear that it's better. But it shows how they wish it could be. But what happens later, it actually becomes even worse. Denial is a short-sighted solution, a quick fix, and a temporary band-aid for your life. It's important to recognize denial's sneaky voice that says things like, oh, I'll get over it. Oh, it was the other day. It's in the past. Oh, I'll never do that again. Oh, let's see how this goes. And if it's, yeah, I know this happened, but let me live like this. I'm telling you, disappointments in relationships, disappointments in the things you do will bring about some horrible repercussions. The reckoning of denial is serious. It's serious, no joke. Denying your past is not a joke. It's serious. And the only way you move forward is that you really get a hold to that and say, yes, that happened. It doesn't define me, but yes, it did happen. And yes, I'm dealing with it. Yes, it happened. Everything is not perfect. Don't misconstrue things. Everything is not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. But denying that your parents gave you away, denying that, it's not helpful. Denying that you did a certain thing, or maybe slept with someone that you shouldn't have slept with. I did. Denying that does not get us further in life. When we deny and think that we're right, or don't apologize, or don't do anything about it, or don't correct it, or don't be responsible, we become a product of denial, the reckoning. Our behaviors, our patterns become the reckoning of that. So we don't transform into the present on denial. We just don't. We can't. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because what we start to experience is anxiety. What we start to experience is, that little thing what you do when you're sitting there and you're shaking your foot? That becomes present in your life. It starts to show up in your body because we're too busy denying things. Denying that we're overweight, denying that we're in the wrong relationship, denying that we're at the wrong job, denying. We're too busy doing that. It gives space for misery, frustration, and disappointment. It gives those things place in your life. And then what doesn't happen? Happiness, abundance, fun, communication. Those things don't happen. It makes me think sometimes that that's why we have so many people who are introverts. Because listen, here's my thought. As a higher self, right? We didn't come here to be ordinary. We didn't come here to be ordinary. If we did, we'd stay where we were. We'd stay connected to the source. But we came here to be extraordinary, and there's a place for all of us. But because we're so busy denying, it creates a space that we're scared. We're scared of everything. Scared to go here, scared to go there, scared to do this, scared to do that, scared to speak up for ourselves, scared to tell our kids, hey, listen, you're not going to do that. And I'm talking about adult kids, I'm talking about little kids, because I think we've got control on that. But we deny that our children have done things. And I've done that. Just this morning, I'm meditating, and literally something came over me. That from my oldest son is always going back and forth into jail, right? And I had come to this realization before. Although I said I was sorry for choosing the wrong father, right, for him, I also didn't say and didn't admit that I did make the wrong choice. I didn't admit it. I said it, but I didn't admit it. See, saying it and admitting it was two different things. And I had to come into, wow, I didn't say, I am so sorry for that. I'm choosing the wrong guy. And I saw all the flags and I didn't pay attention. Then I'm sorry for not being there and denying that you did something wrong. You did something wrong and I didn't say anything. All I could say was shake my head, but I didn't say anything. See, admitting that it's wrong, admitting that there's something wrong happening, only gives place for a repetition. It doesn't fix it. It creates a reckoning that happens constantly in your life, in others' lives that you touch, that you're involved with, that you're in a relationship with. We have to be clear about that. We have to really be clear about that, about denial. Denial is not a joke. Because denying that your life is not all that great. That your parents weren't there for you, that your sisters weren't there for you, your brother's not there for you. That's denial. And still, we think that we should, and we wonder why our relationships are not healed. Because we're not healing the ones that we're lying about. Seriously. We're not healing them. We're not healing those relationships because we're too busy in denial about all of this. We're too busy in denial. We're too busy in hurt and pain. We're too busy, trying to pretend and be recognized for something that we're really not. Denial is a serious thing. I wanted to share too. There's a book that I read, and I interviewed on my podcast, which is called Keeping It Real on Purpose, which you're on now, but it's also on audio. And we get about, I don't want to say 1,600 downloads per episode, which is pretty good, per month. Anyway, the book is called Am I Lying to Myself? And I think I'm going to ask you that question. And so you can ask yourself this. Are you lying to yourself? Are you lying to yourself? Are you literally faking the funk? And let me tell you, faking the funk is not helpful. When I started real estate, right, they told me, Edna, you gotta dress sharp, you gotta look your best, you gotta go out there and sell like you got $1 million, right? that you are a top producer. That's good in theory. That's great in theory. Until I went to Southampton. And so when I went to Southampton, right? I went to Southampton, and lo and behold, I meet someone who is selling, I'm selling a $1 million house. So lo and behold, I meet another agent that's, from out there. And he walks up and he's got flip-flops on. He's got a t-shirt on, shorts, and he says, "Hey, I want to show you a house." I said, "Okay." I said, "What agency are you with?" So he told me, I think it was 𝗪𝗏 and something. And I was like, "Oh wow, that's a really big, real estate firm." He says, "Yeah, but apparently you're bigger than us because you have this $1 million listing in our neighborhood, and this is exciting." So we're chatting it up for a bit, and I'm sitting there looking at him. Now, it is in July. It's July. I'm sweating because I have a suit on. I am burning up, okay? And I'm like so uncomfortable, So finally, I say to him, I said, "Listen, I want to ask you a question. Are you off? Are you working?" And he said, "No, I'm working." I says, "Do you often work in those clothes that you have on?" He says, "Yeah, I usually, wear what I'm wearing." I said, "And you sell houses?" He said, "Yeah, I'm one of the top producers." So I'm like, "Wait, what?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "Only you guys think that you have to dress a certain way. When you're farming an area and people know you're branded by what you do, right?" He said, "I don't deny that I dress this way, but I won't get into the trap of being in denial all the time. I'm most comfortable, I'm most myself, dressed like this." And he says, "And in the wintertime, I'm casual. I'm business casual with khakis on and probably a sweater. He says, but I don't deny who I am. You guys do." And that's when I knew, and I came into myself. That was the okay for me to allow myself to be who I was, the agent who I was, to be who I was, and still sell real estate. I didn't have to be like everyone else, because everyone else was going through the same motions and getting the same results. But I stepped outside that and I got a different result. So whatever works for you outside of denial, when you step outside of denial and start accepting who you are, how you behave, where you originally came from, dig into that, because what we see from people, what we see from ourselves is the truth. We often deal with people in relationships in denial because we don't want to face a lot of truths about them. We see it, we pick up the flag, we got it, but we deny it because we're living on the fakeness that they're going to be fixed because we're good people and they're going to watch us and be fixed along with us, which is total chaos and is untrue. No one gets fixed because of the way you act or the way you treat them. No one gets fixed until they want to fix themselves. So all of us, you out there who is listening, no one gets fixed because you are who you are. They get fixed because they want to be fixed. They want to be better. They want to love better. They want to like themselves. You can't love them out of their misery. You can't. And only till they stop denying that and they stop denying that they're happy with themselves will they change. So you might as well jump on the board, on the bandwagon of stop denying. It only quick fixes things, but the reckoning is far worse. Stop it. Get the solution. get the fix, get whatever it is. Get the solution, make it work for yourself. Be honest with yourself. That's another thing. People aren't honest with themselves. See, I'm sure people won't watch this video because we're talking about denial. And some of us live in denial. Okay? In this world, things are happening. And let me tell you, people are worried about, our new president, but he doesn't deny who he is. He is who he is. We who voted for him, or those that voted for him, thought that it would be different. But he already showed us who he was. So being somebody different or thinking we're going to make a difference because we are who we are and we're with him doesn't change him. So I just wanted to share that with you. We need to kind of stop a lot of what we do. And by the way, I'm trying some new noodles, hearts of palm. I'm trying that. So simply, it's gluten-free. So it's the first time I'm trying this. If you guys have tried this out there, let me know. I'm about to try it now, but let me know your thoughts on it. Simply Nature, hearts of palm. Let me know. Angel hair pasta. I'm trying it in a recipe I saw online. Anyway, really quick, easy. Lots of vegetables. So, why does denial happen? Denial happens because we don't love ourselves. We don't love where we came from or what the issues are that brought us there. We don't love it. So we decide to fantasize that our lives were perfect and present to other people that our lives are perfect. Thus, we have so many religious people living like that because they put on the persona that they are perfect. In this particular state, era, where they are standing in front of you, they have combated all of the issues of life and became an evangelist, a pastor, a bishop, a prophet. They have conquered everything in life. And they personify that to you. And then you believe it. Then all of a sudden, they make one error, human error, and everyone disperses. Well, it's not his or her fault, it's yours. Because the stories say that we should not have any other God. The historical stories, which is in Genesis, says we should have no other gods before God Almighty. But we do, and we create we put these people up on a pedestal, like we put them on the altar or where they sit at, and we put them there that they're better and they're aligned with God. And with this, I'm telling you, this is the reckoning. And then what happens after that? They make a mistake, and all of what they've done, you now can see all the flags. Well, why wait until then? Why wait until hindsight? Start stopping denial now. Stop it. Stop denying where you are in life. Stop denying, where you are in relationships. Stop denying that. So what do you need to examine? You need to pay attention to the hazard lights. Anything blinking that's gets you kind of in an area where you need to understand or doesn't feel well and it's dishonest, that's a hazard light. Pay attention to that. If it's in your business, if it's in your workspace, if it's in your relationship, if it's in you, pay attention to that. because it's really giving you a warning sign, you know, and you want to avoid, and a lot of it you want to avoid obstacles, and because I know it's hard, because that's the reason why we kind of lie, is because we want to avoid obstacles, we want to avoid conflict, we want to be silent, we want to not contribute to the, I guess, the dismantling of the fantasy that you built. The typical traps that are set by denial is being miserable, having that frustration in life that there's never any peace. You hear somebody say, I need peace, I need peace, I need peace. It's not around you, it's in you that you have no peace. The disappointments on how you merge relationships with other people, the disappointments, it's from inward, because there's been so much denial in its place. The voice that says, he's drinking too much, or he's never going to call, or she's being unfaithful. All of those things, you hear them, but you don't receive them. And then when you find out, I didn't know, but you did know. First of all, you know that person, you know the situation, you know it. That's a denial and a lie all by itself. Stop it. It's just, you know when you feel something, you know. Let me tell you, every time I got into something, I knew it, because I avoided not listening. I avoided it. So you need to not avoid it. You need to walk into it, be part of that, you know, strengthen your ability to pay attention to your life. I can't tell you how many things I said I wish I coulda, woulda. And we don't want to go around our lives doing that, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to, but we don't want to keep doing that, going shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know, all our lives. Man, I would hate to do that. I would hate to continue that pattern in my life. I would hate to do that. I would hate to continue. Denial keeps us stuck in that pattern. Denial keeps us just stuck. Like, you know how the airplane circles around before it could land? That's where we are. That's where we're stuck at. Excuse me, too much pepper. That's where we're stuck. We're stuck like that when we're in denial. And sometimes we're in denial when we don't even know that we're in denial, because we're not given the full truth about things. For my life, I didn't acknowledge that I didn't have a father. I pretended like he died at war. You heard what I said, right? I pretended like he died at war. And I had to mourn the fact that my dad was a hero. I made that up. Now, the lie that I was given is nothing. My mother never spoke about him, talked about him until I asked. Until I literally asked when I was in my 20s, 27 or so. And the only reason why I asked is because my aunt brought a picture and said, hey, here's a picture of your dad. I said, my dad? You know, I had believed the story because I was not told anything, and I had believed the story that my father, you know, I made up a story. And I was in denial that my mother didn't talk about it, and I didn't ask any questions about it. So I made up a story, I fantasized. And then I believed the story he was dead. And then when I approached my mom about the story, about, you know, my dad, she goes, I never told you he was dead, I just didn't talk about him. So there you go, double whammy, reckoning. Then I'm screaming at my mom's screaming back at me, why didn't you tell me, blah, 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 blah. It's this whole thing, a ball of wax that had to be unballed. Then I get to meet him when I'm 27, and my siblings, I get to meet them, and they're all telling me horror stories about what happened with them and his life, because he came out of Vietnam, and then he had PTSD and all these other problems, and he's an alcoholic, and I didn't get to see any of that. So they were mad at me because I didn't get to see any of it. I'm getting the father that they wish they had when they were younger, and I'm getting that now. So they resented me, unintentionally. They didn't mean to, but they did, because he often mentioned me. He had a place setting for me. He talked about me tremendously, and yet they never met me. So when I met him, a lot of empty holes were filled, but it was a lot of being truthful that he wasn't a good guy some of his life. I just met him at a good time in his life. And I had to come to the realization of that. Some of us do not accept that. We accept that our lives have always been good, and a medium point, like right then and there, and it's not. It hasn't been good. Yeah. I can truly say that I slept with the wrong people at times. I, shouldn't have dated different people. I shouldn't have, and that was one of my biggest downfalls. That I've dated a few bad apples, and I hurt a few people. I was not a nice person because I was mean and nasty because of my past, and that's all I knew how to do, is that if I was mean and nasty, I'd keep people away from me, and I wouldn't form relationships. So that's what I was. So why am I telling you this story? I'm telling this story because denial hurts your life. It hurts your life deeply, just like it has done to my life. And I'm sharing this with you because there's nothing I'm not going to deny out of my life. I've did things, I've said things, but it doesn't make me. It just makes that I made a mistake, I accept that mistake, and I move on, and I've learned the lesson. Just like I'm hoping that you will do the same. Now, if you still have troubles with that and you struggle with it, I'm here for you. I am a narrative therapy coach, and I'll help around mindset, changing that mindset, changing how you think about that, changing how you can take denial and make it something that you can use in deliverance and resilience and overcoming. I can help you with that, because that stops you not only in your own life, relationship with yourself, but relationship with other people, connecting with other people, and also in your business or your career, your decisions around any of that. Your denial will stop you because it's a lie, and you now live by that lie, and your lie will stop you from having it all. And we want to have it all, don't we? So reach out to me if you still need some help. Reach out to me. My email is @jdwhite11 @gmail.com, or you can go to my website, www.ednawhite.com, and I will send you, if you want something of the PDF around denial, I'll send that to you. Request a free PDF, or request information on how to become a client of mine, because I can help you around denial. Remember, you don't have to do this by yourself. We all need support. We all need understanding. We all need somebody to be in our corner, and I can be that for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm getting ready to eat my brunch lunch. and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye for now.